Archbishop Eustathius of Thessalonica was a Greek bishop and scholar. He is most noted for his contemporary account of the sack of Thessalonica by the Normans in 1185, for his orations and for his commentaries on Homer, which incorporate many remarks by much earlier researchers. He was officially canonized on June 10, 1988, and his feast day is on September 20. Life. A pupil of Nicholas Cataphoron, Eustathius was appointed to the offices of Superintendent of Petitions, Professor of Rhetoric, and was ordained a deacon in Constantinople. He was ordained Bishop of Myra. Around the year 1178, he was appointed to the Archbishopric of Thessalonica, where he remained until his death around 1195–1196. Accounts of his life and work are given in the funeral orations by Euthymius and Michael Choniates. Nitas Choniates praised him as the most learned man of his age, a judgment which is difficult to dispute. He wrote commentaries on ancient Greek poets, theological treatises, addresses, letters, and an important account of the sack of Thessalonica by William II of Sicily in 1185. Of his works, his commentaries on Homer are the most widely referred to. They display an extensive knowledge of Greek literature from the earliest to the latest times. Other works exhibit impressive character and oratorical power, which earned him the esteem of the Komnenoi emperors. Politically, Eustathius was a supporter of Emperor Manuel I. An original thinker, Eustathius sometimes praised such secular values as military prowess. He decried slavery, and believed in the concept of historical progress of civilization from a primitive to a more advanced state. Works. His most important works are the following: On the Capture of Thessalonica, an eyewitness account of the siege of 1185 and subsequent sufferings of the people of Thessalonica. In early sections of this memoir, Eustathius describes also political events at Constantinople from the death of Emperor Manuel I through the short reign of Alexios II to the usurpation of Andronikos I, with sharp comments on the activities of all involved. The Greek text was edited by Kyriakidis, with an Italian translation by V. Rotolo. There is an English translation by J. Melville Jones, and a German translation by H. Hunger. A number of orations, some of which have been edited by P. Worth. In 2013, a translation of 6 of the earliest of these speeches was published with a commentary by Andrew F. Stone. Commentaries on Homer's Iliad and Odyssey. These address questions of grammar, etymology, mythology, history and geography. They are not so much original commentaries as extracts from earlier commentators. There are many correspondences with Homeric scholia, drawing on numerous extensive works of Alexandrian grammarians and critics and later commentators. They are a very important contribution to Homeric scholarship, not least because some of the works from which Eustathius made extracts are lost. Although it is likely that Eustathius quotes some authors second-hand, he seems personally acquainted with the works of the greatest ancient critics, Aristarchos of Samothrace, Zenodotos, Aristophanes of Byzantium, and others. This is a great tribute to the state of the libraries of Constantinople and of classical scholarship there in the 12th century. He was also an avid reader of the Diapnosophistae of Athenaeus. Some of the etymological and grammatical comments by Eustathius's Alexandrian predecessors are full of errors, and Eustathius's own comments are diffuse and frequently interrupted by digressions. The first printed edition, by Majorinus, was published in Rome in 1542–1550, an inaccurate reprint being later published in Basel in 1559–1560. A Potitissa edition contains only the commentary on the first 5 books of the Iliad with a Latin translation. A tolerably correct reprint of the Roman edition was published at Leipzig, the first part containing the Odyssey commentary, 1825–1826. and the second, containing the Iliad commentary, edited by J. G. Stolbaum for the Patrologia Graeca, 1827–1829. These were superseded by the edition of M. van der Valk, 1971 onwards. Extracts from the commentaries are quoted in many editions of the Homeric poems. A commentary on Dionysius Periodotus. This is as diffuse as the commentary on Homer, but includes numerous valuable extracts from earlier writers, and later in that of H. Stevens, in Hudson's Geograph Minor, Volume IV, and lastly, in Bernhardi's edition of Dionysius, a commentary on Pindar. No manuscript of this has come to light, but the introduction survives, from which it was reprinted separately by Schneidwein, Eustathius Proemium Commentariorum Pindaricorum. Other published works. Some were first published by Tafel in the 1832 opuscula just mentioned, some appeared later, as by P. Worth for the Corpus Fontium Historiae Byzantini series. Unpublished works. These include theological writings and commemorative speeches. Several of the latter are important historical sources. Citations. Great Synaharastis. Gamma iota omicron sigma epsilon sigma tau alpha theta iota omicron sigma kappa alpha tau alpha phi lambda omega rho omicron sigma rho chi iota epsilon pi iota sigma kappa omicron pi omicron sigma theta epsilon sigma sigma alpha lambda omicron mu iota kappa eta sigma 20 sigma epsilon pi tau epsilon mu beta rho iota omicron epsilon mu epsilon gamma alpha sigma sigma epsilon mu alpha chi alpha rho iota sigma tau eta sigma.